Students, today I am going to take the structure of protein. You see, structure of protein. What is a protein? Protein is a polymer made up of large number of amino acids. So that is proteins are made up of large number of polypeptide chains. You see, polypeptide chains. Peptide chains means, you see, so peptide chain is a chain which is made up of large number of amino acids. Okay, therefore the structure of proteins can be explained on four different levels, structural levels. You see. First, protein structure. Second, there is a secondary structure. You see, primary structure of protein, secondary structure of protein, tertiary structure of protein, and quaternary structure of protein. So that means the structure of proteins can be explained on the basis of how many levels? Four levels. So primary structure, secondary structure, that is tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. So now, what is meant by primary structure of protein? We know that that is a polypeptide chain is made up of large number of amino acids and the arrangement of amino acids. So that means a protein chain, protein polypeptide chain made up of large number of amino acids. How they are arranged? That arrangement, the sequence of amino acids and the total number of amino acids indicates the primary structure. Here, it is a long linear chain. So this linear chain indicates the total number of amino acids and sequence of amino acids. The total number of amino acids, it may be 100, 200, 500, like that we see. But sequence, what is meant by sequence? So for example, you see glycine, alanine, serine, again glycine, again cysteine, aspartic, like that we see. The primary structure indicates the total number of amino acids and the sequence arrangement of amino acids in the polypeptide chain. What is the primary structure? Primary structure indicates the total number of amino acids in the chain and the sequence of amino acids, arrangement of amino acids in the chain. That sequence and the number of amino acids will explain the primary structure. That's all. And how do you confirm that? How do you know that which amino acid is present? For that, you see, you subject this primary structure into hydrolysis. When a primary structure is subjected to hydrolysis in presence of an acid or enzyme, it gives the number of amino acids and the sequence of amino acids definitely. It gives the successive number of amino acids on hydrolysis. So that will explain the primary structure. That means we can calculate that primary structure indicates the number of amino acids and the sequence of amino acids in a polypeptide chain, definite polypeptide chain. Next, coming to the secondary structure. What is the secondary structure of protein? The secondary structure of protein is nothing but in the primary structure we have one polypeptide chain is formed. What is a polypeptide chain? Polypeptide chain contains the number of amino acids and the total that is sequence of amino acids. Here in the secondary structure, how these polypeptide chains are arranged. In the first primary structure, polypeptide chain is formed. In the secondary structure, you see the arrangement of polypeptide chain. How actually they are arranged? They are arranged, that means polypeptide chains are arranged in a chain due to the formation of hydrogen bonding. How they are arranged? That means one polypeptide chain is arranged in the linked to the other polypeptide chain with which type of force? Hydrogen bonding. That means, you see, in the secondary structure, the polypeptide chains are arranged in a definite way with respect to hydrogen bonding. So that is called the secondary structure. Primary structure, number of amino acids, sequence of amino acids. Secondary structure, the arrangement of the polypeptide chains as a result of hydrogen bonding. So it means polypeptide chains 1, 2, 3, 4, they are arranged with respect to hydrogen bonding. That means arrangement of polypeptide chains as a result of hydrogen bonding is called the secondary structure. But this arrangement of secondary structure, that means arrangement of polypeptide chains in secondary structure is of two types. You see, it may be classified into two types, that arrangement. So that is called, the first one is called the alpha helical structure. You see, that is called the alpha helical structure. So alpha helical structure, and second one is called the beta pleated structure. Here you see, beta pleated structure. What is meant by alpha helical structure in the secondary structure? You see, alpha helical structure is nothing but it is the structure. Alpha helical structure is obtained due to the revolvement, or that is the polypeptide chains are revolved in such a way that you see that revolvement is called as you see polypeptide chain coiled in the right-handed helix. You see, if you in a screw type, if you have a nut and screw, you see, will be the nut will be that means that is turned in right-handed helix. You see, to fit the nut. You see, like that the polypeptide chains are coiled in right-handed helix, like this right-handed helix. It is due to the intermolecular hydrogen bonding again. Why? Because second structure is mainly due to the hydrogen bonding. But in the alpha helical structure, you see, the polypeptide chains are coiled. It is rounded out, called in a right-handed helix, right-handed screw, let us say. That is due to your hydrogen bonding. So that the hydrogen bonding actually, so hydrogen bonding is formed. How actually you see? So this hydrogen bonding is formed in between NH group of one amino acid with CO group of another amino acid. That means we know that in one amino acid we have the amino group as well as COH group. When polypeptide chain is when CONH bond, that is peptide bond is formed, when when COH group of one amino acid connects with the amino group of another amino acid, that is CONH bond is formed, which is called peptide bond yesterday. So now you see the intermolecular hydrogen bonding is formed in between NH group of one amino acid with CO group of another amino acid. So as a result, hydrogen bonding is formed this. And this right-handed helix, that turning is there, you see. That means the polypeptide chains are turned around in right-handed helix. So that means that turning is like this, you see. You see, this is one turn. Again, this is second turn. You see, one turn, second turn, third turn, he like this, you see. So between two turns, you see. This is first turn, this is another turn. In between two turns, there is a distance between two turns is found to be 54 picometers distance between two successive turns. So when it is right-handed, that means when polypeptide chain is turned in right-handed helix, you will be getting a distance of two. That means in between two turns, successive turns, there is a distance of 54 picometers. And in one turn, how many amino acids are there? For example, it is one turn, you see, it is one turn, it is second turn. So it is in one turn, you see, you may observe, you may know that you see 3.6 amino acids are there. 3.6 means it may be 4 or it may be 3 like that. That's it. So that means you see about 3.6 amino acids are coiled in one turn, present in one turn. So that is called the alpha helical structure. In the alpha helical structure, R groups are large, you see. R group means that is R is equal to CH2Y, R is equal to CH3. You know, that is the formula is that is RCH, that is NH2, that is COH. It is the amino acid formula. If the R group is large, you are getting the alpha helical structure. If the R group is large, you will be getting what? Alpha helical. If it is small, you will be getting beta pretense structure. You see, you will be getting what? Beta pretense structure. In the second structure, it will goes. So that means it is alpha helical structure in the second structure. So coming to the beta pleated structure, why it is called as beta pleated structure? Here also there is a turning of polypeptide chains, but here you see the R groups are stretched out. The R groups are what? Stretched out here and there. So here it is called as the beta pleated structure or beta folds of drapery. You see. So that means there is a plated folds of drapery. So plated folds of drapery means, you see, so it is nothing but, you know that drapery is nothing but curtains in the home, you see. Curtains, you know, like that, the curtains, there in between, in the curtains there is a folding. So that folding of the curtain, that is a clasped curtain, so hanging in folds, you see. That is like it seems to be pleated folds of drapery. So this your beta pleated structure is nothing but it seems to be, it resembles the glass curtains hanging in folds. Therefore, it is called a pleated beta pleated folds of drapery. Drapery means it is nothing but the glass curtains that is folded in hanging in what? Folds. Therefore, it is called the drapery structure. Drapery means your glass curtain. Okay. So therefore, it seems to be like this. And that is R groups are very small. Yes, R groups are very small. Therefore, you will be getting beta pleated structure. it is R. Like this, you will be getting R groups are present on the same side. In those you see it is present on the alternate. Okay, it is on the same side. You see, an example for beta pleated structure is silk protein, that is 5 join. And for that alpha helical structure, you have many number of examples. That is keratin present in ear, nail, horn, feathers, myosin of muscles, collagen of bones and cartilages. All these examples are alpha helical structure. So it is secondary structure you see. In the second structure, what is secondary structure of protein? It is the arrangement of the polypeptides due to the hydrogen bonding. So it is of two types you see, alpha helical structure and beta pleated structure. I have explained. Now coming to the tertiary structure you see. Coming to the what? Tertiary structure. The tertiary structure of protein. The tertiary structure of protein is nothing but it is the overall folding of polypeptide chains. What is meant by tertiary structure? It is nothing but the overall folding of polypeptides leads to the, and this tertiary structure leads to two definite structures. You see, one is called the fibrous structure and globular structure. Globular. What is tertiary structure? Tertiary structure is nothing but it is the overall folding of the secondary structure. Let us say overall folding of the polypeptides, which leads to two types of structures. One is fibrous structures and globular. What is meant by fibrous? What is meant by globular? You know, fibrous is nothing but the linear structure, fiber-like structure. Okay. And globular structures are nothing but the spherical shaped structure you see. Okay. So here tertiary structure is nothing but it is the folding of overall folding of the polypeptide chains due to the leads to two types of structures, fibrous structures and what? Globular structures. And the tertiary structures involves definite force of attraction you see. In this we have the hydrogen bonding may be there, it may be disulfide linkages, van der Waals force of attraction may be there, or even electrostatic force of attraction. So these are the force which holds the polypeptide chain. So here in the secondary structure, what is the force involving in the polypeptide chains? Okay, so it is due to the hydrogen bonding. But here it is due to the hydrogen bonding, maybe disulfide linkages, or maybe electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, all these force of attractions have been involved in the water. Which structure? Tertiary structure. What is the tertiary structure of protein? So tertiary structure of protein is nothing but it is the overall folding of the polypeptide chains, which leads to two types of structures, which is called as the fibrous proteins as well as globular proteins. And so it involves that is 3 to 4 types of forces you see. Hydrogen bonding may be there, or disulfide linkages, or van der Waals force of attraction, or electrostatic force of attraction between the polypeptide chains. So that is nothing but tertiary structure. So finally coming to the quaternary structure of proteins. What is meant by quaternary structure of protein? So the spatial arrangement of polypeptide chains. What is that? Spatial arrangement of, that means polypeptide chains are formed already. So these polypeptide chains are that is arranged in space, let us say. That is spatial arrangement of polypeptide chains as a it is that means with respect to each other is called that is quaternary structure, and this that is polypeptide chains, spatial arrangement of polypeptide chains is called as the subunits you see. So generally the polypeptide chains are called as subunits. The spatial arrangement of subunits, that means each and every polypeptide chain is called as subunit. In the protein, each and every polypeptide chain is called as subunits. So these subunits are arranged in space you see. Our number of polypeptide chains are arranged in space. So giving the full protein you see, structure of protein, the full structure of protein is given by which structure? Quaternary structure. The quaternary structure which gives you the full structure of protein. That is spatial arrangement of all the polypeptide chains in space, in space, and it is due to the all the forces of course you see. All the forces means it may be hydrogen bond, that is or disulfide linkages, van der Waals forces, electrostatic forces, whatever it is. If the polypeptide chains are arranged in space, then it is called the quaternary structure. So this is how you can explain the 4 levels of the structures of a protein you see. So here, so that means you see, we know that the structure of proteins can be explained on 4 different levels: primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. Again, so primary structure is nothing but the structure which indicates the number of amino acids and sequence of amino acids in a that is polypeptide chain. And then secondary structure is nothing but the arrangement of polypeptide chains as a result of hydrogen bonding. And this secondary structure involves 2 types of it arises to it exists in 2 different forms. One form is alpha helical structure, second one is called the beta helical structure. In the alpha helical structure, you see polypeptide chains are that is a coiled in right-handed screw, right-handed what? Helix or screw. In such a way that you see this it is due to the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. This intermolecular hydrogen bonding is formed between that is a NH group of one amino acid with CO group of another amino acid. So as a result, you get intermolecular hydrogen bonding. And this beta, that is alpha helical structure, is in this alpha helical structure you see R group is very large. R group means in the amino acid R group, RCH, NH2COH, this R group is very large. So and this R group it seems to be alternatively exposed. It is alternatively what? Exposed. And examples of this alpha helix is keratin present in ear, nail, or feather, etc., myosin of muscles, and collagen of bones and cartilages. All these are nothing but the alpha helical structure. In the beta pleated structure, you see R group is very small, and it is a pleated folds of the grapery. This structure is similar to, it is resembles the pleated folds of the grapery. Grapery means you see cloth curtains hanging in folds. So therefore, it is called the grapery structure, where the R groups are stretched out. R groups are what? Stretched out. And here you see, here also there is a that is folding of polypeptide chains in the coil-like structure you see. But R groups are stretched out here and there. And you will be getting the R groups are very small between CO and NH. There is a bonding is there, that is hydrogen bonding. And the example for this is silk protein, which is called the fibroin. So this is secondary structure. So tertiary structure is nothing but overall folding of all these polypeptide chains as a result of there is hydrogen bonding or disulfide linkages or van der Waals forces or electrostatic force of attraction is called the tertiary structure. So finally, there is quaternary structure is nothing but it is the structure which is obtained. That means full protein is obtained in the quaternary structure. It is the spatial arrangement of polypeptide chains. So each and every polypeptide chain is called the one subunit. So that is spatial arrangement of all these subunits leads to the protein. You see that is called the quaternary structure. That is spatial arrangement of polypeptide chains which is with respect to each other is called the quaternary structure. This is how we can explain the structure of protein in 4 different levels. So finally we have one aspect which is called the, so that is denaturation of proteins. It is one small topic, denaturation of proteins. So what is denaturation of protein? So denaturation, you see D means delete. So natural protein will have all the properties, you see, all the properties. So it has got a primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, etc. So that is called the native protein. When this native protein is subjected to physical change, like increase in temperature, or chemical change by changing the pH, by adding acid, base, etc., the secondary structure and tertiary structure will be changed. So therefore it loses its biological activity. So that means you see loss of biological activity, loss of secondary structure as well as tertiary structure is called the denaturation of protein. So that means when protein like your egg, where egg albumin, it is heated. When it is heated, you see, you are going to get a egg, that is egg dosa. So it means solidified, you see, it gets solidified. So that means liquid gets solidified. That is called the coagulation of protein. That is called what? Coagulation of protein. That coagulation of protein is called the denaturation of protein. This denaturation can be carried out by adding salts or acids or bases in small quantities or by the process of heating. What happens when denaturation takes place? Primary structure will be as it is. Remember, what happens to primary structure? Primary structure will be as it is. It loses its secondary structure and what? Tertiary structure. Secondary structure and tertiary structure will be that is lost, and the primary structure will be as it is in the denaturation of protein. What is denaturation of protein? Denaturation of protein is nothing but the coagulation of protein. How do you perform? The coagulation of protein can be carried out by the process of heating or by the addition of small amount of acids or bases or salts. Okay, therefore you see, it loses its biological activity, it loses its secondary structure, it loses its tertiary structure, but the primary structure will be as it is. Okay, this process is called the denaturation of protein. It is for 2 mark questions. What is denaturation? So it is a process of coagulation of protein. How do you perform? It is performed by heating the protein or by the addition of salts or by the acids or bases. Therefore, it loses its biological activity. It loses its water, secondary structure. It loses its tertiary structure. But the primary structure will be as it is. So this process is called the denaturation of protein. That is how we can explain the denaturation and the 4 levels of structures of protein. Yes, we will continue in next class.